Alright, hey guys, I'm Chelsea James, and I am here with American Salon Live and L'Oreal Professionnel. We're in my shop in Denver, Colorado. It's Forma Collective Salon, and we actually have clients today, so let me know if there's any kind of vocal problems. But anyway, this is Ashley, and she is my model, and we're going to do some cutting and styling today. And as per usual, I like to do things a little bit different and try to bring something fresh to you guys. The way that we're gonna do that is Ashley has style that is unbelievable. It's so inspiring, I swear. It makes my brain grow just looking at the way she puts her outfits together. And so obviously I'm really honored to be her hairdresser and be the one that gets to design her look, and I love that trust. What we're gonna do is something a little bit different. So I'm actually gonna cut really short hair pushes long hair. So I'm gonna cut little short pieces, and all of this will fall over and will create a really round fringe. She has an oval face shape and it's absolutely stunning. And so really anything that I design on her looks good, but once again, the goal, I'm gonna actually shave into the hairline, and all of this stuff is gonna come over. But these little short hairs are gonna hold up and allow the top hair to kind of round over. So she's been growing out this moulé for quite some time. And then I'm gonna show you the back, because this is the second portion of the technique that we're doing. So she has extensions in, and I think cutting extensions is something we don't talk about enough in the industry. All of this is her real hair, and our goal is to drop it down, so someday she won't need extensions. So what I've done already is cut half of the extensions so you can see how layered and how cool they are. She had braids, double braids in her hair earlier today, so that's where we're getting that texture. But as you can see, these are just put in, and they're disgusting at the bottom. So I'm gonna figure out how to blend all of this, make it big and sexy, and then I'm gonna show you, because the holidays are coming up, I'm gonna show you a little quick holiday up style technique. Will you grab me a water bottle? It's that white one on that thing. So what I'm gonna do for the top is scissor over comb. Oh, and just 1 second, sorry. I'm the worst, I'm sorry you guys. And I'm actually, so as you can see, her growth pattern kind of grows to the side, and that's okay because it'll be really cute, but she can blow it completely straight if she wants. And I wetted it down to part it. And I'm just gonna come in here and cut this off. It's a bit risky. And I'm gonna etch it in as I pick my length. So it's really interesting because Ashley, I posted a thing on Instagram, and people went crazy. They were so, I cut into her hairline and I shaved it off, and everybody seemed to have opinions. Some people were madly in love with it, and some people were so angry. And I got a bunch of epic hate on the gram, which is something new for me, but also I was a bit excited about. That means we're doing something challenging. And Ashley, I actually call her Jamichael. She's just such an epic human being. So anyway, I felt protective of her, and then it kind of went viral. So all of these like bigger accounts started posting it, and then eventually Allure wrote an article about how it's breaking Instagram. They called it a punk rock haircut, and it's pretty exciting. So anyway, dealing with hate has been one of the highlights of my career, And I know that this is outside, out of the box. When I cut on the skin, I basically leave this blade solid on the skin, and this is the only blade that moves, and that allows me maximum control. And I'm cutting it right onto her hairline. And Ashley's one of my favorite people to design looks for, because we can always do something different. Do we have any questions?
We have a question, just what are we doing? People are a little confused by cutting into the hairline right here.
For sure. So I know this is really risky, guys. And the reason, if you're just joining us, that I am cutting into the hairline is because short hair pushes long hair. So what I want to do is create a bunch of really short hairs, and all of this fringe stuff is going to come over right at the hairline. I'm going to end up shaving into this hairline so it's really round, because she's so beautiful. She can rock really any shape that I put into her. And
Got another question.
yeah.
What kind of scissors are you using, and what size are they?
So these are B-Max, and they're 6-inch. I really like the pointed tip. It allows me maximum control. They're really light, and they're really balanced. I'm gonna blow off her face. Also, Ashley has a twitch. It's not me, I'm not hurting her, she just has a twitch. So that's fun. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of show you guys what we're doing from here. It was wet, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna shave out her rounded hairline. I'm gonna start off with my wall edgers. And I'm gonna make a perfectly rounded shape. So if you look here on the side, I can almost use my comb as my ruler and draw in the circular shape that I want it to be. I know that it's hard to kind of imagine what I'm doing without a photo of the end result, but that's what happens when you deal with next level stuff. Next level human beings like Joe Michael.
Getting a lot of love for your Christmas cardigan.
Oh my God, you guys, I wore this holiday sweater for you. I really love Christmas. I like the joy and the cheer and the love.
We got a question, which brand of clippers?
So these ones are Wall. I also use Andes. But this round shape is really going to highlight Ashley's cheekbones. I'm just coming in here and getting all this little baby hair. Actually going to step around to this side. Once again, I'm going to take my comb, push everything a bit forward, and draw my line. Just so I can have a path to where I'm going. And you guys, this, for all my hairdressers out there, is the most fun and the most satisfying. It's a bit scary at first, and that's what I think, for me, makes it so very much fun. Ash, how does this feel on your face?
Fine, doesn't hurt.
Does it feel kind of good?
Yeah,
Seems like it feels good.
it's gratifying.
Gratifying.
Shave it off.
You're so dangerous, darling. Okay. And then she's got some weird overhang stuff here. So I'm actually just going to take my edgers, clean that. Awesome. Turn it this way. Do the same on this side. She had a haircut that was really, obviously I like cut into the entire hairline and then shaved the side. We've done like tons of different winds and all kinds of fun stuff.
We have a question. What's the upkeep for this kind of cut? How will it grow out?
So what's cool is that we're trying to grow out the entire top. And just like pretty much any short haircut, I usually recommend every 4 weeks. But as this top stuff, and I'll show you, I'm about to wet it down. As this top stuff gets longer, which is our goal, eventually we're gonna, like this entire top bit here will reach here. It doesn't right now, but it should grow out, and all she'll have to do is get bang trims. And I recommend about every 4 weeks. But what's fun about Ashley is she always lets me pretty much change her look every single time. So I'm just wetting it down. Now Ashley has really, really fine hair, but an ungodly amount of it. So after I wet it down, I'm gonna use my comb to kind of beat it into submission. And then I'm gonna take my blow dryer and just kind of work the hair going back and forth. Stretching out that root a little bit. But can you guys see how the top hair, because it's short, is giving this a bump? That's what we were looking for.
We have a question. What kind of blow dryer are you using?
This is a Dyson dryer. Everybody loves the Dyson dryer. Really powerful. I work for L'Oreal Professionnel as an international artist, and we did a training for America, and Dyson actually sponsored us, so it's pretty amazing. And now I'm madly in love with this dryer. It's really light, movable. Okay, so we have a few scragglers, but that's the thing, is I'm planning for the drop. And so I'm just gonna come in here and just clean some of this up, but I like how it's kind of pointy. And then as the whole thing grows longer and longer, she'll be able to have like a pretty large overhang and get some longevity out of the haircut. See, there's that twitch. And I'm gonna be really soft with my technique here, because I think that that's one of the things that makes this kind of feminine and unique, is that it's really a hard line underneath, and then as this stuff drops, she'll also be able to like kind of round brush it and blow dry it really, really soft. So I know that it's very different.
What would you say this style is called?
The Jamaical. The Jamaical is revolutionary style. Cool. Awesome. So that gives us a great setup for it to grow longer, be really soft, feminine for the winter, and it really, really opened up her face. So now let's get into layering and cutting these extensions. All right. So first thing, I'm just going to explain to you what I've already done. I love to cut extensions dry, and I love to cut them where they're gonna live. So what I did was I took a profile section, which is just in the middle. I brought everything out. Now cutting dry hair is kind of a different beast. One of my favorite techniques that I almost can't not do now is called the triple clamp. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of grabbing my section like normal, I'm actually gonna take this finger and wrap it around the backside. This is gonna give me maximum tension. If I only grab it with my 2 fingers and then I move my body or let go of my elevation and distribution, I don't have the tension. So doing things with the triple clamp, it allows me, instead of having to hold my body, look at my body positioning, to make sure that my elevation and distribution stays the same, and then I would have to cut from here, I'm able to triple clamp it, lock in my elevation and distribution, and then put my body where it feels good. Then I'm gonna take the comb and I'm gonna basically give myself a palette. And as you can see, here's her real hair, right here. I'm gonna come in and just kind of etch some of this out. Now when I'm point cutting, I'm always closing on the way out, and to ensure that I don't cut myself. And I'm just kind of drawing a line. She wants her hair to look kind of stringy at the bottom. Normally, I would leave quite a bulk of this length, but she likes that it looks kind of stringy with the vibe. So I basically took slightly diagonal forward sections all the way through.
We have a question about what kind of extensions she has in.
What kind are they, Ash?
Hair top.
Hair talk. So it's all real hair.
And are they tape-ins?
Tape-ins, yes. So let's have a look at them. As you can see, they start about there. I've already cut these guys. But the goal is to make them blend. So now I'm gonna go on this side. And the way that I kind of look at it is I'm gonna take a small amount of my previously cut section. Small amount. Get that out of the way. You can see the length of her real hair, and once again, we're trying to keep that. So we have to be very careful. Now, the way that I put in my comb is also gonna be the way that I grab, so I know what hair is coming from where. I can see her length here, and I'm gonna move slightly beyond it and just start kind of blending some of these layers in. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of looking at how they connect. This to me looks a bit heavy, so I'm gonna pick it up independently and just lighten that cut. 5 hairs make such a difference when you're doing extensions as far as making sure that it looks blended and not choppy. So now I'm gonna take a tiny bit of my previously cut section and continue moving around the head.
And just to clarify, you guys had a full consultation before you started, correct?
For sure. I mean, Ashley's pretty amazing. She allows me a ton of creative freedom. But of course, everyone's like, yeah, do whatever you want. And then, you just gotta really dial in aesthetically. And I always, anytime that I'm planning a haircut or a hairstyle, I'm always thinking of longevity. The more longevity I can give them, the more clients I'm able to fit in a day, and the more time she has with her life. Time is our most valuable asset. So this one, I really need, it already looks pretty darn weak, so I'm gonna be very careful. But you can see, like, we have extreme heaviness here, so I'm just gonna lighten that up. But I'm basically cutting 5 hairs at a time, all the way down. Okay, so to me, I know we're trying to keep her length and her natural hair, but to me, this side is blending a bit better than this side. So I am going to adjust her regular hair a little bit. Just a little bit. Clean it.
We have a question. Why wouldn't you slide cut to blend it?
Well, it depends on what slide cutting means to you. Slide cutting to me is where I insert the blade and push and slide down. That would pull and kind of rip and be pretty hard on the cuticle. And also the way that I'm approaching it makes me feel like I have much more control. I know exactly the pieces of hair and where they're coming from, so I can really create the shape that I'm looking for. Okay, so right here, so as you look at the palette, you can kind of tell. Right here to me looks heavy and kind of yucky. I'm gonna pick it up independently and just lighten that up. So there is a little bit of product in her hair. L'Oreal Professionnel came out with a new line called Beach Waves. I'm very excited about it. Have it up there in case you guys wanted to check it out. But it's pretty effortless. She just put it in after the shower, braided her hair, and it has a really cool lived-in texture. Alright, so you guys ready to do a little quick out style for the holiday parties? Well, what I'm actually going to do is something pretty darn simple. We're going to start out with a fishtail braid. And once again, because I used the beach waves, it already gives me a little bit of texture, but I want a bit more grip. This is Infinium 3, and it acts like a polymer instead of like a glue. Can you grab me a different one? And this one is, oh, here we go. Maybe. Denied. We actually dropped it. So it's just going to give me a little bit of grip, a little bit of stick. A little bit of roughness. I'm going to use my hands to kind of rough it up. I want it to look lived in. I want it to look interesting. I'm going to start here in the crown. And because it's a fishtail, pretty much anyone can do this braid. I have 2 pieces, and I'm just going to cross over. I'm going to add hair from the other side. So whichever one's on the bottom, I'm going to take and add hair over the top and switch. Add hair over the top. Now the finer my sections, the more intricate my braid.
So where is your salon located?
Oh, we are in Denver, darling. Denver, Colorado. We're actually a little bit south, so technically it's the Denver Tech Center. And we have been here for about a little over a year and a half. We have a bunch of really epic people who work here. And we have a pretty darn good time, obviously. Look at my Christmas sweater. Mm-hmm. So, you can take the sections as wide or not as you want. But as you can see, I'm just trading. I'm using my 2 fingers on the underneath to pinch. I come over and add. Grab, pinch, grab more, and add. Grab, pinch, add. So it's pretty fast. Pretty fast. Once I have it here, I'm just going to take a bit from the underneath, hand it over to its friend, bit from the underneath to its friend. And it's pretty cool because she has a ton of layers in here, as you can see. And it's got a hold of it. I think that it actually looks really pretty standalone, but what we're going to end up doing is pulling it out slightly and deconstructing it a bit. I want it to look lived in. I want some of the layers to pop out. I want it to look messy. But I just take some from the back side, hand it over to its buddy. So if I was to take like little tiny baby sections, it would look almost like a fishbone. And I think that this tail and the texture looks pretty awesome. So I'm going to let some of that live. So I'm going to come here. I'm actually going to use a white hair tie. So it looks like snow for the holidays. And now I'm going to start pulling it out. I like to pull it out from the bottom, but this is actually also really fun. Feels really creative. You just kind of go back and forth from side to side. But I feel like a fishtail braid is something really fast and easy that I can show my clients to empower them to look their best self.
I have another question. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh my goodness. Well, I do a lot of things, so it depends. But it's been really interesting this year because I've kind of been forced to try to brand myself. And so I really had to hone in and think about who I am. And for me, most of my inspiration comes from larger concepts or messages. So I call myself a hairdresser with a message. And for this particular client, my message, I guess, has to do with what happened for us on social media, with the different hate that we got to experience. I'd like to be transparent about some of these like insecurities and concepts and what we're doing socially, and I stand for empowerment. And so if you go check out my Instagram, her particular topic and haircut, I chose to respond to it with love and kind of trying to I see a lot of social bullying because it's not face to face, and I felt all the defense. I wanted to like protect her and I wanted to get all crazy. And it was really cool because I feel like because of social media, I've been able to create an authentic following and community with us as hairdressers. And that's a lot of my people came hard and stuck up for me and were like, just give me all the love, which felt really good. But for a minute, I could only focus on the hate that I was getting, and like, how dare they even ever talk to Jamaica like that. And I feel like it was more out of protection for her. But I think that just exists. Anytime you have something different, like cutting off somebody's entire hairline, that's going to be kind of controversial. But for me, it's my job as a hairdresser to figure out how to make them look and feel like their best self. So obviously, I think this looks really cool. Just standalone. I think it's lived in, it's soft, it's cool, and she can go out like that, just like that. But I can also really easily take this and manipulate it all kinds of different ways and use it as an upstyle. Kind of take some of this hair and use it for something interesting. And then all I would do is take U-pins. And what I like to do with the U-pins is kind of create like almost sew with the hair. So did you see me weave in and out, and then I can take it and just plant it in, and it'll stick and live and hold. It still looks really lived in and awesome. And I just did that really slow. It takes like 2 seconds at home, but it's also something that I like to share with my clients. And obviously, like, this has no base. I literally put 3 pins. I could put a couple extra pins if I want for security, but now I can kind of pull it out, shape it the way that I want it. And I think it's pretty awesome. If she was going out, I would probably take Infinium. Infinium is our high hold hairspray. And it'll pretty much lock down anything. I just created or shot for Naha, and so I used this hairspray like it's going out of style for stuff like that. But I just think this is really neat. It has a ton of texture, it's really feminine, it's really beautiful, and she can attend all kinds of wide variety of events. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Obviously, this will be posted, and I will do my best to check back and answer, and I just appreciate your time. And here's the fold. It's a little dun 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 dun. And the top of her hair has 0 product, so there's a ton of options that I could do to either make this kind of wild and textured or really sleek and smooth it out. Obviously, like, if I spent a bit more time on the blow dry, it would close down the cuticle and make it really like reflective and shiny. Or I can kind of kick it out and make it really wild and fun. Ashley's so cool. She can basically rock whatever. I'm gonna take a towel and not torture her with these baby hairs on her face. But I appreciate your time, and we're gonna also post on American Salon's Instagram a before and after, so check that out if you want to see. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you L'Oreal and American Salon for the opportunity. Happy holidays.